Good morning everybody. How are we doing? Welcome to Friday. You're in the Paint with Pete studio, but as ever on Friday, I flip it round and we go into the gallery. So welcome to the Paint with Pete gallery. He's all under here, under my massive Most Wanted flag. I need to be putting one of these on, so let me just get my Mac set up and say hello. So it is Red Nose Day today, everybody. Happy Red Nose Day. I don't have a red nose, but I have something. Let's just move you up, sorry guys. That should be a bit better. There we are. So, as I haven't got a red nose, I'm going to go and buy one and donate to, my pound to quid to charity. But I need to put a red nose on. I haven't got a red nose officially. So I'm going to take inspiration from my good friend, Mr. Dom, and wear one of my stickers as my red nose, alright? So it's an obsolete red nose. Just turn that down a sec. There we go. Okay, cool. I'm going to try and make sure I don't look stupid. It's got to be straight. Okay. There we go. There we go. So there's my red nose. I hope everyone's got a little red nose on. If you haven't, please spend the next 15 minutes, if not the rest of the show, in finding a red nose. I want to see your version of a red nose. If you don't have an official one, please obviously make sure you do go and get one, or you donate, or whatever. We've got to support Red Nose Day. It's amazing. I'm going to do mine later. I didn't have time to go to the shops this morning, so I just put one of my red stickers on. So that is my red nose. So we are celebrating Red Nose Day. I might I might put some red noses on some of my work as well. But obviously I'm saying red nose obsolete stickers. There we are. So behind me is all the week's work. I'll reveal that in a couple of minutes, but I just want to say thank you for tuning in. I hope you've had a good week. I've had a fantastic week. Certainly because of the Paint with Pete's, I've got some workout. I found myself wanting to be a bit more creative. Whether or not I'm being productively creative, it doesn't matter. Again, it's just how I'm having those ideas. I'm having a really strong ideas week this week. And obviously, you may notice from some of the recent social media posts, I say recent, in the past 2 hours, that I'm collaborating with a certain Shuffle Tee. So this is the No Space Obsolete Collab t-shirt. Still got a few of these on the website if you want. I love collaborating with independent businesses. Big or small, it really doesn't matter, as long as I believe in your ethos and we have a kind of a joint belief system. You rep me, I rep you. That's all I need to know for those collabs. So there's a few people who I want to shout out just from the collabs. So yeah, No Space, that's No Space MCR on Instagram, No Space MCR, no underscore space. I think on Twitter, and obviously Facebook as well, No Space MCR. Shouts to Caveman, to Baija, Master Chifu, the boy Chi, Tomonymous, Blue, also, who else is in there? Everybody who's in No Space, forgive me if I've forgotten you. Thank you very much. Shouts to Eva, shouts to everybody in the Manchester music scene as well. Can't wait, literally cannot wait to see you guys back on stage. The plethora and beautiful variety of musicians and talent and rap and poetry and art and graph and expressionism in Manchester. I just can't wait to feel that. Not even feel that. I've felt that the whole year. I've spoken to quite a few different people in different worlds in Manchester, so art and music and rapping and singing and stuff. But I can't wait to see everybody back on the stage in your native environment, whether that's in the stage or off the stage and getting in the crowd and stuff, whatever. I can't wait to see that back. The next collab, the latest collab, will be with myself, Obsolete Formats, Pete Obsolete, hello, and Mr. Shuffle Tee. So if anyone's into their rap battles or rhyming, English language, plays and puns and all that sort of stuff, you might know Shuffle Tee from Don't Flop and Premier Battles and the rap battle leagues and the rap battle scene. But the next t-shirt will be a collab between myself and Shuffle Tee. Everything's on Instagram and Twitter at the moment. Please follow myself and Shuffle Tee, and also Sounds Like Show and Have a Word podcast. There you go. There's a couple of things to keep us going if you are looking for some entertainment. So Sounds Like is a rhyming show all about puns and rap and rhyme. Really, really good. Hosted by Mr. Shuffle Tee and Mr. Jamie Blees. What's up, brother? We've had some amazing guests on. My boy Blizzard does the soundtrack and the theme, and it's just really, really, really funny. A little bit adult in places, but again, the comedy value is just incredible. So if you're looking for something to kind of keep your brain ticking over, Sounds Like on YouTube. I'd also recommend Have a Word podcast. Have a Word. Shouts to Adam Rowe and Dan Nightingale, and obviously Sensei Carl and Finn and all that, the whole team, for their work on Have a Word podcast. Absolutely hilarious. 2 stand-up comics, just having a show every Monday, I think it is. They've got hundreds of shows. Absolutely amazing. And on Sunday is Sounds Like, the Rhyme Show, and Have a Word. Sounds Like is featuring Adam Rowe, so there's a little collab, so I cannot wait. It's going to be a good show. So yeah, check out Sounds Like and Have a Word podcast, and obviously the Paint with Pete's. So let's reveal the week's work. That's all the shouts I'm going to do. So here we have the week's work. Still got my red nose on. Thanks for the heads up, Mrs. Barton. So there's the week's work. A little bit interesting this week. We kind of moulded or melded a couple of the days together, certainly on Monday and Tuesday, because I wanted to use some of the work that we produced on Monday as a background. I had a secret purpose the whole way through this week, and that was to create a couple of presents for a certain someone. So on Monday, as it was doodle day, and we'd already done a load of hearts and we've done a load of skulls. Thank you for sending me your work. I absolutely love seeing people's skulls. I draw a lot of skulls, seeing the audience get involved and just try something new, maybe work a little bit differently. Skulls have a kind of darker aesthetic and a darker connotation or metaphor or meaning to them. So I love it when I see people drawing skulls that aren't dark and black and white. They're full of colour and really exciting, much like mine. This is a work in progress piece, but it's a colour skull, and I don't really use the colours that much, but I absolutely love these colours. He's still work in progress. I'll be finishing him off today. That is another little commission, but again, putting those colours in, getting some weird requests for colour from clients. It's just amazing. It pushes me, makes me a bit more, it gets me back to being excited about colour, I guess. So being able to draw a colourful skull is very good. But we've already done skulls and we've done hearts. We did hearts a couple of weeks, a few times. So this week I wanted to do skulls. So underneath this, don't lock it in yet. So underneath this guy, I need a name for him. I do have a name for him. But I have a name in my head for him, but please, I love it when the audience give him a name. So he's got crowns underneath, all crowns underneath there, so you can see the little doodles. I've then gone over that, we got the gold out. I'll show you a red wine guy. Still need a name for the other face as well. But I had some gold, and then I think it went pink. Oh no, it went black first, so I wrote "I got your back" in the skull. One of the lyrics. This is a lyric-based piece, so is the other dude. So we've done gold, we've put some black, I've gone over with some really nice pink, and then some white. He's going to get finished today. So I'm going to leave him on my portable drawing board, because we've got another black line, simple black line to finish up. So he's ready to go. He's going to be the first piece that I finish up today. So again, all I'm going to do, obviously skull line into the white. That line will kind of bleed over the white into the colour and the layers behind it. I want to see what that looks like. I think that's going to look really nice. And again, it just grounds that skull, flattens that white a little bit. So he's first on the drawing board. And then so again, this was a mix of 2 days. So we've got the doodle set, which was the crowns. Took a little bit longer. And then we were looking at the Dead King's logo, which is a crowned skull. So a skull with a crown on it. Again, you'll see a lot of skulls. Not all of them have crowns on. Some do, for references. I've just realised I've still got the sticker on my nose. That's alright, we'll put them on his nose. There we go. Red Nose Day. Red Nose Day skull. So again, we did a crown skull background, filled that whole page, brought in a bit more confidence, lent into it a little bit. Keith Skullface, hello, sorry, I've been distracted by a really good name. Keith Skullface is dead good. Very tempted to do that actually for the other. Yeah, okay, okay, we'll see. So again, yeah, crown skull. The end idea was the crown skull, so a reference to Dead Kings hip hop. Shouts to Seymour. So yeah, so we did our black layer. We then got this incredible purple out, this plum, kind of dark purple, and just literally put a skull over it after masking taping up the sheet. So we've got a bit of a clean border and a bit of a rough border. We then added some gold over that beautiful plum. I've still got the mix as well, so I'm going to try and keep that as long as I can because I love this colour. I like the idea of being able to recreate colours, but also knowing that it won't ever be exactly the same. Is a really good creative head, because you know that you're going into the blend knowing that it's going to throw a different shape up or be more experimental as a colour. It's amazing. Okay, so it's purple, then gold, and then a very simple, obsolete black line over the top, and then just to finish them off, a sticker that I'm just going to take off right now. A bit risky putting a sticker on there. I thought it was going to lift the gold off. Luckily it hasn't, so he can go back on here. Okay, there you go. Keith Skullface, I'm going to name this one. Alright, I like that. I really like that. Thank you very much, Mr. Johnny Lindsay. Shouts, Jay. So I'm going to sign that and name it. I've already signed it. There we are. I'm going to name him though, so I need a pencil. Keith Skullface is really good. And also a bit of a personal link, so well played. Thank you for that, mate. Ooh, I do apologise. So this guy is already called Mad Atter. This guy's called Mad Atter. Thank you to Mr. Ethan Callahan. I didn't realise I've already written his name down. So, I'm not going to let Johnny's amazing suggestion go to waste. This is now Keith Skullface, right? Keith Skullface is his name. So, sign it. He's already signed. Keith Skullface. There we are, guys. So, when this goes on a wall, you will be a direct part of that piece of work, alright? So I love it. I absolutely love the interactivity of the Paint with Pete's. Everybody always seems to go for a very kind of old school male name, which I find very interesting. We've had Sid, I've had, Carmen Chameleon, Sid, well, so I've Ron, we've had, what's his name? Clive? No. There was another one. Abigail Swan, I'll tell you. Damn. If anyone else can remember the names, I've got my head full of colour in the show, so apologies if I forget the names of the pieces. But again, they are on the pieces. So if anyone's got a piece, please give me some shouts. I know Mr. Ed has got 3 certain different pieces. Ed, give us a shout on those names, please, just to remind me. But Keith will go into the amazing list and pile of work that is already in other people's houses. So you guys are a direct part of that piece. As much as I'm painting it, you guys are naming it. It gives character, it gives personality, it gives a description. Absolutely amazing. I love it. I love having or knowing that at one point after I packaged it and posted the piece out, that someone's going to be taking something from the audience, you know, or directed by the audience. I absolutely love that idea. Okay, we're going to leave him for a minute. Let's just talk through the week. And we'll come back to that because I'm going to want to, as soon as I've finished this guy, I'm going to want to frame him. I'm very excited to see what Keith and Mad Atter, thank you very much guys, honestly, what they look like in frames. So, let's talk about Wednesday. So we moved on to Wednesday. I mean, everyone moves on to Wednesday after Tuesday. But Tuesday is type or lettering day. So the lettering day, let's just put him back up there just so we've got a bit of colour. flashing around. You can go up there, Mr. Atta. Love that. Stay. Okay, so yeah, on Tuesday is lettering day. So every week in the Paint with Pete's, we've touched on different fonts. The first week was about the bubble font. We've done rune and handwriting and serif and sans serif fonts. We have been practicing our bubble font a lot by making these signs and stuff. Where's that? Got this guy. So like the We Heart NHS, or like the International Women's Day. So normally we make these bad boys. I wanted to switch it up a little bit. If they can just go back on there. I have a whole wall of these. If you've been on the Paint with Pete's every Wednesday, you should too. That'd be amazing. I decided to turn it into a bit more of a piece. So instead of creating a sign, Albert was amazing. Gavin, of course, Gavin. Thank you very much, guys. Albert is a great name. Sid, Fred. Okay, so Ed's got 3 of the pieces that I've painted. Thank you, Mr. Ed. He's got Sid and Fred. Albert, Mrs. Barton's come up with Albert. I think that might go into another name for another piece. I love the name Albert anyway. Arthur as well is one of my favourite names. So yeah, so Ed needs to think of his own name for one of his own pieces. He asked me to customise a piece. I did, but he hasn't got a name yet. So Ed, by the end of the show, I want you to name your piece, please, mate. I want you to tell everybody on the comments what his name is. But he is pink and black and white and a little bit of gold, I think. So if anyone's got any other names for Ed, please shout up. But Ed, that's your little challenge for today, mate. All right. Let's name that piece. Much like I'm Mad Atta and and Keith the Skullface. Okay, Wednesday. So Wednesday's always letter practice. I decided to create a couple of posters. One with quite a lot of words on it, one with not so much. But I wanted to go down the idea of lyrics. So this week I've been representing Dead Kings, my hip hop crew. So I took some lyrics from one of the hooks or choruses of a tune called I Got Your Back. So Skulls repping snapbacks, man I got your back. Alright, so the whole idea of Dead Kings is that we are shuffled loose at our mortal coil, and that we're skeletons wearing crowns, and we can talk about past and future at will and all that sort of stuff. Being dead gives you a massive creative thing, and is a direct reference to the Dead Kings in Lord of the Rings. There we are. If you want the geek references. So obviously the skull is our logo, so we are Dead Kings. So a crowned skull. The crown represents the king. The skeleton represents dead. So we are skulls, repping snapbacks. Man, I got your back. I broke this. I measured up the page, created a border with my ruler and spirit level around the sides, and then we measured the piece and got the exact middle. I then broke it up into 5 sentences roughly, or 5 sections, and obviously depending on how long the word is will always depend on or dictate how much space you have on the page. Eric is a great name. This is B. Eric is a great name. So that spacing, it does become second nature, right? I could have freestyled this and it wouldn't look that much different, but that's only from practice and knowing this ratio, or these two edges, obviously is the same this side, but all the pieces of paper I use, certainly in the Paint with Pete's, are A size. So if you've been to school, you know what A4 is, the stuff you put in your printer, that is the size. The A range is variations on a theme, so it's the same ratio of paper all the way up to A0. It goes the opposite way. So A4 is like this. A3 is half of A2. A2. A1 is double A2. And A0 is 4 of these bad boys. So A1 or A0 is this big, right? Absolutely massive. A2 is a really, really good size to practice on and get out of your A4 I was going to say prison, cage, because with A4 it's nice and small and the ratio is nice and it's all equal and all that sort of stuff fine, but I think stepping up to a different size will always push that confidence and give you a little bit more I can do this, and also it just gives you a bit more play area, so you can actually draw bigger or draw smaller and still fill that page up quite nicely. Okay, very simple, pencil lined in, skulls, reference, snapbacks, man I got you back. My pen started running out here, so yesterday I tried to go over it, and because I've obviously already drawn it and then gone over it, so there's two lines, it's very, very difficult to kind of hide that first line in a very accurate second line, right? So I've basically redrawn this. It's already packaged up and ready to go, but I wanted to show you that, you know, sometimes it's just better to redo it. I like this piece, and we can obviously move it into like a colour day if we wanted to colour it in. We could cut it out to make it into a sign. I might actually do that, that's not a bad idea. We might do that in a minute actually. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to turn this into a sign. I'm going to grab my scissors and we'll make this into another plaque for our wall. And then I want, because also because my pens were running out, but I also wanted to do a kind of bigger version of that. So I thought of a positive sentence that I think everybody should know. Don't worry, be happy, from Bob Marley. Nice positive sentiment. Little happy face in here. And again, pencil lined up, used a fatter Posca just because it was slightly less letters. So there was an easier ratio to fill with that thicker line. There we are. Okay, so I'm going to cut the thing on now. So we're going to I'm just going to cut my scores rep in snapbacks, man I got your back sign out. So again, if you are using scissors, a couple of very, very simple tips just to get the most out of your scissor use it, whatever that is. Scissoring has other connotations. Okay, so I always never ever close the scissor all the way, okay? Otherwise you'll get little bites in your A4 or your paper. If it is actually thinner, those bites become a lot more clear as well, more obvious. So I'm just going to cut round, nice and slow, all the little black lines. If I'm taking my scissor out, I'm coming back into it and never closing it. You will never see that the end of the scissor close. And again, I'm using my left hand as a guide. My right hand is the cutter, my left hand is the direction, alright? So I'm guiding. And if you've got a nice grip on your paper with your scissors, you can actually switch direction fairly quickly without having to tear or make extra cuts in the paper. Might seem dead simple. You can always finesse those little skill sets, those little bits of knowledge by practicing. Nice and easy. Practice makes perfect every time. Oh, there we go. Okay, on the top bit now. And again, because we've filled that page quite well, there's not going to be that much excess paper. As you can see, it's still hanging off. I haven't closed the scissor yet, so I haven't cut it off. Very simple. Around that S, some water droplets. Okay, down to the M of man. So nearly finished this side. Around that Y. We'll worry about the star and the kind of smaller cuts in a second. So all one piece. It kind of shows that your patience and your kind of accuracy are really paying off if you've got something like this at the end. Okay. So again, just a couple of little detail bits, just from the harder shapes. like stars and asterisks. Yep. It really helps. That cutting technique will really help you cut in circles as well, because you can literally just guide the paper around, etc. Okay, there we are. Nice and simple. Scissors can go up there. Nice. Ah, good work. Yeah, okay, cool. Frank. Frank's a really good name. I love that name anyway. There we are. There's a little cutout. Let's get this sorted. There we go. So it's Tuesday. Sorry, Wednesday. There we are. Okay, and then Thursday. There you go. That's the literally every bit. And again, this kind of shows your patience. That's the initial line there. But again, accuracy. And patience always help. There we are. Okay, so next up was Thursday. So Thursday, as always, portrait day. So portrait day usually starts off with an Eggman. Okay, so I always try and randomise some colours. I loved that wine colour from Tuesday, so I found a Posca in my big stack of Poscas. Robert Mann, hi mate. Sorry, distracting comments, amazing. So we came up with this kind of weird looking egg guy. So we drew an egg shape, split him down the middle from central line, half eye line, half nose line, half a mouth, in pink, or in like a kind of peach, beige. And then again, just went over that with some detail, so added some eyes, nose, mouth detail, quite a bit of hair, because we were drawing Mr. Billy Connolly yesterday. So I wanted to have a quick practice on wavy hair, and obviously a bit of facial hair as well for Mr. Bill. We then, he looks a bit sad, that dude, the opposite of Mr. Billy Connolly. So here's the opposite of Billy Connolly. Drawn in about half an hour, 40 minutes, and I only say that because I'm very happy with how it turned out in that time. I know that if I can find some more time to work on stuff and redraw him, then it's probably going to be a lot more accurate. However, halfway through the show yesterday, if you want to see what happens when someone, well, loses their control of their hiccups from Wednesday, I think, was it Wednesday, maybe yesterday? But if you want to see what it looks like when an artist kind of draws someone and it looks like someone completely different, when I penciled it in, it looked like Billy Connolly. When I put the pen lines in, it looked a little bit, I mean quite a lot, like Mr. Richard Branson. So luckily, I had the the fortitude and the confidence to kind of just go straight back into that drawing and work out what areas I needed to bring Billy Connolly out and sit back Richard Branson. They are kind of similar. You know, Richard Branson's a very smiley guy, very expressive, a unique face as well, like Billy. But Billy has a certain idiocy to him, a kind of madness, right? And that kind of personality, sorry, my neighbour's saying hello. That kind of personality is his, and also is in every bit of his expression. So I really tried to kind of get that kind of silly humour into my Billy Connolly face. Obviously tried to fill it with hair because he's a very hairy guy, and simply by taking away some of the kind of Jesus hair at the bottom, it kind of gave him a bit more of a mania. So these are a little bit more kind of almost spaniel ears, if that makes sense, that kind of like crazy element. And then hopefully that mouth has kind of got that humour to it as well. So there's Mr. Billy Connolly. I think he looks a lot like V for Vendetta, simply because he's got a very similar facial hair and also has these amazing cheeks. He's got really like good cheeks, full cheeks, and a very happy face. So he's smiling, and he's smart. he has smiled a lot in his life, so he's got these creases in his cheeks and his folds in his skin where he smiles, which I think do look a little bit like V for Vendetta a little bit. I might do a Billy Connolly V for Vendetta. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, so next up, Bill can just stay there for a minute, just while I finish my piece off. Keith, the skull face needs finishing. So it is brew time. If you do want to take 2 to 5 minutes for a cup of tea, some fresh air, some fruit, or some food, cup of tea, water, whatever you want, please do that now. I'm going to draw here. I have my portable board, so if I'm drawing flat, it's only because I want it to sit flat. I'm not actually using anything that drips today, so hopefully I can just draw it on here and everyone can see it. So you can see it from where he is now. I know he's not straight, it doesn't matter. So let's find a pen. One of you will do. Okay, so I've got, all I'm going to do is put an obsolete skull over my painting. Super simple. Let's go. Again, you probably see that line's really subtle. I'll show everybody in a minute. But because there's black paint behind the black line of the eye, it kind of camouflages it. That's what I want. Okay. Okay, headline and face line. Okay, last little touches. So we've got some eyebrows, christen him, and last but not least, okay. Okay, and that piece is done. So just from adding one more layer, you know, I was considering what I was doing, but let's just get one more in here. 2 seconds, sorry, halfway through a sentence again. So I was considerate to what I was drawing and where I was going with my pen, but that structure is already there for us. Yep, just checking. There's one. Good. Okay, so all I've done is use my white trace line. Making my nose itch, excuse me. There we go. It's Red Nose Day, everybody. Never forget, show some love. Make sure you get a red nose. I'm going to go and get one in a minute. After the show, obviously. So, using the white structure, I've just kind of put another skeleton skull over the top. And again, it kind of drops out that pink in the eyes, hides that message in the skull, but the message is still there. That's important. And obviously, I've just gone over and taken elements from the Dead King's logo, which are illuminated, like an illuminated skull. Skull with a crown on, with lines coming out of his head. They are radiant lines to show intelligence or thought or idea, okay? Creativity. So there we go. I think it's only right that we start framing so my board can go down. And we're going to frame, oh, excuse me. Oh, it's fine. Okay, we're going to start framing. So I'm going to start with, I'm going to let that ink dry that I've just drawn on. First off, we're going to get is this Mad Hatter? Yeah, Mad Hatter in the frame. Shouts to anyone who remembers the lost weekends at the warehouse. So, just taking an A2 frame. And we're just going to swap the gig poster I've got in there for my work. Shouts to Cold Cut for that night, absolutely epic. There we are. Okay, so Mad Hatter is going in. Just like that. Leave his glue tuck on. Okay, that's the backboard in. Just about. There we go, there we go. Okay. One more. There we go. Okay, so Mad Hatter framed up, signed, dated, and named. Colour and name from the amazing Paint with Pete audience. Absolutely amazing. Love these colours. I'm just going to try and show you a little bit of detail. So you've got that gold in there that sits really nicely against that purple. Hopefully you can see that. If I'm just waving a piece of work around, I do apologise. So we've used that gold and it kind of reflects really, really well. I'm always keen to explain that kind of a neutral frame with a colour that's similar. So like the white paper that we've used and the white frame will always push that attention into the middle and also push these colours out as well. So you've got this kind of like graduating your eye, where your eye goes. And obviously when that gold catches that light in certain positions, in your front room, bedroom, wherever, your eye will jump straight to that gold. It's absolutely lovely. I love that gold. So we've got this kind of mix of a rough and smooth framing. So we've got this rough background, which we drew with Posca pen. And then obviously I masking tapes it out and put black over the top, black paint just on the borders and around the skull. Peel the masking tape off and you've got this like super clean line going around the whole painting, but also breaks with this dirt layer as well. Regarde. Love that. You know, I really hope that you're noticing that every skull that I do paint is different and has a different vibe. They are my go-tos. I have drawn hundreds and thousands of them in my time. But again, that kind of knowing your craft, knowing the roots, knowing where you want to go with a bit of work, but also having something in the locker just for when you want to just draw. When you're approaching a white bit of paper, you don't know what to do. It's always wise to have something in the bank. Mine are skulls and obviously fonts and writing as well, but just doodling in general. But the repetition of the skull means they are all part of one big team. They are called the skeleton crew. So if you ever see an obsolete skull, they are all members of one big tribe called the skeleton crew. I designed a full team, like a navigator and a rower and all this sorts of different jobs on a ship. So each and every single skull is part of this same family, same tribe. So that's why they're all unique. That's why they're all individuals, but all reference each other as a family, as a tribe. So there we go. Yes, interaction. Yeah, hey Sugar Tits. Hey Rob. Yeah, I don't think it's as good a name as Frankie, but yes, guys. Love you guys, serious. Okay, thank you for joining us. And this, my friends, is Keith the Skull Face. Keith the Skull Face, nice and framed up. Again, started with doodles, as everything in my world, everything in my art world always starts with a doodle. Very, very simple. It's just picking a pen up and drawing. So this is Monday and Tuesdays and a bit today, all in one piece. So we've got our doodles, our gold and our black and our pink and our white from Tuesday. And then you just see me put a line over that just to kind of ground them all. I really, really like this piece. I thought it was going to be a bit too muddy to start with. And when I say muddy, I mean too full, confusing or conflicting. That's what I kind of mean by muddy. So if it didn't have anything direct in it, you know, that's what I would consider muddy. It doesn't have it doesn't say one thing. It can say more than one thing, but I want that kind of impact to be there. And if it's muddy without the black and the white on there, if it's just got the gold and the black behind it, it kind of, excuse me, loses itself in its own background. Simply from this layering technique and the process of layering, let alone knowing my product, so knowing that this gold dries really quick, works really well against the white acrylic, which also works amazingly with Posca on top. 3 completely different types of ink, but I know when they're dry, when we've had a bit of patience, we've given them time to dry off and flatten, it becomes a new canvas. So it becomes something we can add more stuff to, and I love that. The paper that I use is 200 GSM Cas Art cartridge paper, and again, I know I always push it to its limit as much as I can. Much like some of the other paintings that I've got on my wall here. I'll show you this one. So even though it's got about probably 6 layers of paint, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 6 layers of paint, the paper is still holding up. That's before it gets framed. Obviously the paper needs to stay strong, but once it's framed, you get this real kind of nice, flat, neutral background that all these colours and all these effects and all these little bits of dirt layer and gold really will come out. Sadly, this one isn't for sale. I do apologise, so you will not see this on the website. So everybody say, hi Keith, everyone give him a wave. This has a destination, a final destination already. So if you like this kind of styling of paint or the painting itself, please give me a shout. I can obviously do custom work as well. I might be doing something similar to this next week with a whole different set of colours, maybe even a different type of gold as well with a bronze maybe. We will see. However, I love him in the frame. It just looks dead nice in the frame. I'm very, very happy with that. Good. Good. Okie dokie, so next up would be Wednesday's work. So, Tuesday can go back up here. Slidey slide. So I'm not going to frame the cutout. I'm just going to frame this guy. And as much as this does look really rudimentary, very basic, or kind of first stage of a piece, because we didn't really do, I haven't got a direct example of the doodle day. I just want to show you what the kind of black and white, even with the pencil lines on, how good it looks in a frame and how different that frame can look, or can make your work look. So even this, even with the pencil lines, and I haven't rubbed anything out, there's a definite strength to it being in a frame, and obviously that's a nice message. I think the ink is a little bit too thick. I think the pen that I used was a little bit too fat. So I think if we did that again in the same pen as the skulls repping snapbacks behind me, I think that'll look really nice. So I'm probably going to go down this route for some posters. So if you're looking for some obsolete posters, they will be coming very soon. Thank you for sticking with me. I know it's been a long wait for merch and kind of anything other than artwork. Sadly, these things take time. And obviously, it's not just the time in life, it's the time where the artist is or the business is and all that sort of stuff. But thank you for supporting everything you've ever, if you've ever liked or shared anything, that really, really counts. More than just the Facebook and Instagram algorithms, I promise you. Every independent artist loves their audience, right? So if you know another famous artist, if you know another local artist, soon to be famous artists, please like and share their work, all right? The independent world, artists, musicians, nightclubs, all that sort of stuff, survive because you guys are here with us and them and everybody else, all right? So please support each other. First and foremost, if anyone's feeling a bit down or needs a phone call or is getting a bit cabin fevery, please call somebody. Or if you know someone that's feeling like that, please just give them a call, give them a text. You know, hi, how you doing? Give us a shout if you need it. Absolutely fine. Go for a walk with them. Go and get a coffee or something nice and easy. For independent businesses, it's exactly the same, but that phone call is a like or a share, all right? Or you're actually doing amazing things like putting your hand in your pocket and buying something from their company. Every penny goes back into their business and into that creative drive to just keep going. Every single like and share that I get, every single penny that goes into the Paint with Pete account or the obsolete work is a blessing, right? It is all fuel for the future, and I've said this for years and years, but someone you know, an artist you like, could be the next famous artist simply from you supporting them and getting other people to support them as well. It's a very much a supportive world at the moment. I know it's hard, it takes a lot of energy and a lot of effort. Certainly when you've got things like family and bills and a job in your head as well, that is more than okay. If you do have 5 to 10 minutes a day just to have a look through somebody's work, give them a shout out, share it on your story, just say, I love this guy's work, can't wait to support. That is more than enough, right? Thank you very much for the support and for your listening. Okay, so there's Wednesdays. Let's get into Thursday. So I'm going to frame the Eggman. Mr. Egg. Billy's on the floor. He'll be up in a second, don't worry about that. Again, this is just more proof that even a doodle can hold its own and you know, deserve to be framed. I was thinking of the word there. It kind of simply by framing it, it looks a whole different piece. I've ripped the page there. That's distracting me, but that's all right. But again, that was our egghead doodle. Very, very simple. Yeah, I think that's everything on there. And last up is Mr. Billy. Sorry, just arguing with my frame. Come here. We'll get all the work back up in a second, don't worry. Just want to show you what Billy looks like framed. So he's going alongside all the other portraits from all the other portrait weeks. I mean, all of the work is available, so if you've seen something that you like on the Paint with Pete's, please give me a shout. Even if it's just a weird description of it, I'll be able to probably tell you which piece it was and if it's already gone or not. So, I know I've had some interest in the Jonah Hill face, and we've obviously got Keanu, Jim Carrey or Grim Carrey. We've got Kanye, Donald Trump, Hedy Lamar from last week, the most beautiful girl in the world. But from this week, Mr. Billy Connolly, okay? Excuse me. If you don't know Billy Connolly, again, I know I was shouting out quite a few different comedy-based podcasts at the start of the show. If you need a bit of a good, solid belly laugh, do not look any further than the Billy Connolly stand-up. The guy's a genius, and any of his Parkinson interviews are just absolute hilarity. He is a very, very creative guy, and creative within comedy, very clever. He's obviously been in loads of films as well, like Mrs. Brown, right? Am I the Queen? I think. I can't remember, I do apologise. But he's been in a couple of amazing things. And obviously it's Red Nose Day as well, so having a stand-up comic as being the guy that we draw in the week of Red Nose Day was a very nice link. I'm just going to put a red nose on him. Let's not. Come on. Be careful. Be careful with your stickering. I'm going to leave him like that. just because I don't want the residue to stick, the residue of the sticker to stick onto the frame. I love my frames. They are not very expensive. You can get these on Amazon for about 20 quid. So it's not expensive or anything. I'm just, I'm very precious about the things that I have. And obviously the framing, you know, these are my frames in my flat upstairs. So I want to keep it as long as as good as I can for as long as I can. Just make sure it's definitely in those. There we are. Okay, there's Billy Connolly with his red nose. I'm going to take that off, just so I can wear it. But okay, cool. While we've got a little bit of time left, there's still 10 minutes. I just want to show you some, again, some of the the work that's halfway through, and again how I'm just really excited to be working with colour again. I absolutely love what's happening with some of the pieces. So this is, I mean, this is more for me, but also a reminder to all of the artists out there who may be halfway through a piece or worrying about how to start a piece. You know, please watch the Paint with Peace if you are at that stage where you're a little bit nervous about getting, you know, a permanent mark on the page and committing to a piece of work that you may or may not be freestyling on. It doesn't matter, just get stuff down. So again, here's a work in progress piece, very, very basic. I've just picked a few nice colours out. I am definitely going to be using these colours again. I absolutely love this palette. The skull's a bit out, the lines aren't straight and stuff, but there is definitely something to that. And that's just me kind of freestyling, knowing my roots with my skulls. Just kind of going, so this is you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th layer in, and I am nowhere near finished it. I might show you this next week as a kind of work in progress idea, just so you get an idea of where I am wanting to take this. I think this lends itself to something a little bit more defined, a little bit more special. So yes, the gold will come out. Yes, I'll probably get some bronze in there, but I want to put a bit more kind of doodling back into it. So going back into the kind of subtle camo pattern instead of these big, you know, ball sheet, confident, thick lines. Okay, sorry about that. Are we good? I do apologise. I need to find out if that's still working or not. Okay, sorry. I just had a phone call, and for some reason my phone stopped. There we are. Okay, cool. Anyway. Let's get the work back up in the studio. I'll ring Mr. Charlie back in a second. I've started only using big bits of paper, so you'll see that I'm having to lay the pieces landscape. Okay, so landscape and portrait. Landscape. Just to fit in the studio. Let's just get some blue tack on here. So yeah, I love that test. Again, that's kind of step up from size. I mean, obviously it's easier to show you guys what I'm doing simply because it's bigger, and I can show you the full page without having to zoom in and step back and all that sort of stuff. So this A2, I love. Again, get to know your A sizes. They're really, really good. Really good to know the differences in the sizes. And again, that kind of that constant test of how big can I draw. If I can draw a smiley face this big, how big could I draw that smiley face and it looks similar. I'm just putting one more piece in. I haven't seen this guy framed yet. He's not finished, but again, that kind of showing you the stage process is vital because, hold on a second. You get to see the stage where I'm at, and I can, yeah, lovely. So I can envisage what this is going to look like with a final skinny, like a thin black line going around the skull. But again, there's kind of the bubblegum, nice one, bud. The bubblegum kind of flavour, the bubblegum kind of colouring, I really, really like. There we are. that's another commission. If anyone wants to see any more of my work that is available right now, that's houseobsolete.bigcartel.com. Please have a look at the work. If you like it, shout about it, if that's okay. The latest collab is with Mr. Shuffle T, so we are collaborating on a set of t-shirts and that say, "Are you aware that all of this is rhyming?" on the back. That's taken from his previous t-shirt, so shufflet.com if you want to have a look at anything that Shuffle T does. Again, I am Pete Obsolete and Obsolete Formats MCR on Facebook, Pete Obsolete and Obsolete Formats over on Instagram. I am Snob Ross and at Pete Obsolete on Twitter, and Obsolete Formats, that's it, on YouTube. So if you have missed any of the Paint with Pete's, whether it be this week or last year, we're very close to the year anniversary. I think that's coming up next week, if I'm right. Please check out the YouTube. My YouTube channel has every single bit of every single episode of the Paint with Pete's on, as does the Facebook as well. So please give me a shout out, spread some love. And again, support your local artist. If you know anybody who's doing something independent, shout them out. It's not just me. You know, I want to shout out Amy Coney. So if you know Amy Coney, art and design, please give Amy Coney a shout. It was her birthday yesterday, or the other day. So happy birthday, lady. Please check out Amy Coney. There is a plethora, a load of independent artists in Manchester. Amy Coney is one of my good friends in art and Overdrawn. And I've shouted a few other people out, so it's only fair that I shout her out on the week of her birthday. But Amy Coney Art Design, not the Republican Senate, right? Just to make sure, she's not my friend. Amy Coney Art Design is though. Absolutely love the art community in Manchester. It's such a small world, but such a creative, beautiful place to find oneself, and collaborating with some amazing people. Also, it's amazing collaborating with the Paint with Pete audience, with the colour choices, the name ideas, suggestions for who we're going to draw on portrait day, absolutely everything. So shouts out to you guys, and please raise your right hand, everyone. Put it next to your left ear. Pat yourself on the back for another creative week with the Paint with Pete's. We made it. I'm going to call it 1 minute until 11 o'clock, so please make the most of that minute. Have a fantastic Friday. Don't forget it's Red Nose Day, so spread some love. Donate a little bit of money if you can. And I will see you on Monday at 10 o'clock for some more doodles. So stay safe, have a good weekend, stay creative. Bye.